From the many realms of Aetheris to the distant reaches of the 13th via the magic of podcasting, this is episode 49 of A Podcast Reborn, a show celebrating our journey in the past, present, and possible future of Final Fantasy XIV. This episode is being recorded on Sunday, March 10th of 2024. As always, the following podcast may contain mature language and spoilers for the MSQ, though this time probably not so much. My name is Brian Black, otherwise known as Ro, and I have not yet completed Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but I have won a Chocobo race in that game, so that's something, right? Anyway, with me, once again, are my two awesome co-hosts, and a very much returning guest. First up, we have our Chaos Gremlin, VTuber, servant of Princess Bonbon, webtoon artist, and Sims 4 content creator extraordinaire who has a love-hate relationship with her long hair. Hi, Megan.
Hi. Yeah, I really like having long hair, but I'm just a sweaty person in general. And living in a hot area does not help with that. Also bangs. I was like, you know what would be great if I had bangs, and then my forehead was like, sweaty time.
And with Megan, we have her other half and cat dad to the stars, Ward. Hi, Ward. Welcome back.
Howdy. I'm here to represent the cat dads around the world.
And the power of anime.
Oh yeah, lots of anime. I mean, that's I feel like the Venn diagram is like they overlap. It's a circle.
True. And of course, last but not least, we have our resident blogger and dad joke mancer who believes the downside of storing everything on the cloud is dealing with broken Wi-Fi. Now, I don't know if I agree. As someone who's played a lot of Final Fantasy VII lately, I'm pretty sure the downside of storing everything on the cloud is that you can't count on the memory to be all that accurate. If you know, you know. Hi, Brandon.
Nice one. Hey, Megan, you know what helps with all those problems? Moving to Denver, just saying.
Yeah.
But did you guys know that even after all this time since that patch was released, there are still entirely too many people complaining about the mount reward from P12S? I don't know. I just think they axolotl from the devs.
Oh. Still, yeah, I'm also a little bit salty with it because I'm not going to get that until like 3 expansions from now, man. I want my axolotl now.
Either
like the mount up sound, just perfect.
Now, don't hurt me on this, but I feel like I'm either living in a parallel universe or I've heard this one on the show before.
You have not. I scanned through my jokes so I just make sure I don't.
Maybe I've heard you say it to like run it by me to see what I felt about it, and I just it stuck that well. But
that is entirely possible. I
yes.
use a lot of these dad jokes in multiple other friend groups, so
yes,
it's possible I've repeated
that's
it
very
for you guys.
Well, it is March, and last year in the month of March, we did a little thing called the Waifu Wars. And I felt that was such a smashing success, in my opinion, that why don't we do it again and just break a lot of friendships and hurt some people and cause nightmares and talk about all things Y'shtola. By the way, there is no ban on Y'shtola for this one, so hey, if she wins it all, she wins it all. However, I have changed the rules for this year, and things are going to play out differently. And there is a chance that Y'shtola doesn't win. And I'm going to explain how that can happen. First off, the four of us all got to submit picks the week before. Instead of picking a whole bunch and then scoring it on a ranking and point system, I simplified it. I said, here, basically, make your picks. They have to fall under these categories, and if you pick it, they're in. So each person got to pick 8 waifus and 8 husbandos. 2 had to be part of the Scion division, which is basically any member of the Scions, past or present. 2 had to be in the antagonist division.
I hate you.
Trust me, the antagonist division definitely had a lot of controversy behind it. But yeah, this is where you basically would pick people like, Emmett Selk. Spoiler alert, he's going to be in this one. Then there's
my antagonist just to annoy Brandon.
I believe that. I believe that.
This division exists to annoy Brandon. I had to resubmit one of my husbandos 3 times because Ro vetoed them.
That is true.
Oh, man.
That is true. Also, there's the Aetheris division for characters that don't necessarily fall into the Scion division or the antagonist division all that smoothly. And last but not least, and my favorite part, is the Wildcard division. And the Wildcard division represents the random chaos that we get on this show and a healthy dose of anime. So basically, the picks for the Wildcard division, any fictional character you want. It doesn't have to be in Final Fantasy XIV, which means are we going to be hearing Megan and Ward talk about anime characters? You better believe it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but like, I have one that is from not anime.
I also picked one that was not anime.
That is true.
I couldn't be that cruel.
I had to think about like what is my favorite stuff that I watch or read over and over again, and that's how I pick my wildcard stuff.
Speaking of anime, I do have an update to make. Megan, I have not watched this series that you told me to watch, and I've forgotten the name of it, and you need to remind me in Discord.
I forgot what I told you to watch.
That's great. That's great. That's great.
But honestly, I would probably change it now, and I would tell you to watch Freerun.
Oh, yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
Oh, yeah.
So I had a vacation over the past couple weeks, and for a week and a half, my plan was to play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and a hell of a lot of it. But something happened. I got very, very sick, and I did not feel well enough to even play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and enjoy it properly. So I was in bed most of the time, and I ended up going to Crunchyroll, and I started to watch an anime series.
Oh.
Now, I think the series I'm going to mention is probably going to make a lot of people look at me and shake their head and say, why?
It can't be
Brian,
that bad
why?
if it's Crunchyroll and not High Dive.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, it's not High Dive, but I'm sure Megan and Ward have heard of this. I know Brandon probably hasn't. Have y'all heard of a series called Fire Force?
Oh my god, you're watching the boob anime?
There's nothing wrong with some shonen trash.
Okay,
That's right.
that is absolutely shonen trash. I don't watch that one. I can't get into it.
There is definitely some boobage and cleavage and some absolute fan service.
I enjoy
it. I will say, there's a little boy in all of us that enjoys the shonen trash. It may be a very small portion of you, but
character development titties. Okay, I want plot relevant nipples.
The series. I've watched the first half dozen episodes. The series so far, as I know it, it's basically about firefighters or firefighting soldiers in a futuristic Japan.
It's a cool premise.
Yeah, who are fighting against people who spontaneously combust and basically turn into demons called infernals. And the only way to kill them is to basically destroy their heart. All the firefighters are basically have different levels of pyrokinesis mastery. So if you're familiar with a Full Metal Alchemist, imagine if all the main characters were some variation of Roy Mustang.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
And the main character's name is Shinra, which I thought was kind of funny considering that I was watching this instead of playing Final Fantasy VII.
There's so many better anime you could have been watching.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
If your brain was soup, maybe this was for the best.
Yeah. My brain was definitely soup. I needed something pretty base.
There's anime to watch to like disengage yourself. This anime just you just soak it in. That's it. That's fine. That's fine.
All right. Now that I've gotten us off track with anime, which is a rare thing for this show, back to the whole Waifu Wars thing. So people made their picks in those division. Here's the thing. There's 4 people on this. Are we going to have 2 versus 2 ties on this? Yes. It's going to happen. we're going to try to be relatively quick about these, especially with the Final Fantasy XIV things, because a lot of the characters we're going to bring up are characters we brought up last year. A lot of the things we've said about them has been said before, but there may be a few new picks that might surprise you. That being said, new characters that aren't on there before will probably give a little more time. The Wildcard division is probably going to get a bit more time. If we come to a 2-2 tie on any of these matches, I'm basically going to start a 3-minute timer for both sides to basically talk it out. If we can't get one person to defect to the other side and create a 3-versus-1 win, then I'm going to have one person from each side roll a digital D20 in Discord, and whoever gets a high roll wins. We're going to leave it to the cruel hand of fate. This is the only way Y'shtola loses. If Y'shtola gets into a 2-versus-2 tie and loses on the roll. It's the only way destiny can be broken. Yeah. So we'll see if that happens.
Going up against the waifus? Or is it like a Husbando division and waifu division?
No, so there's the Husbando conference, and there's the waifu conference, and there's 4 divisions. So yeah.
Okay.
We'll have the winner of each division go up against each other, but no, they'll be at the end. You know, if you make it to the winner of your division, that says a lot anyhow. Even if Y'shtola wins the whole thing, if you win your division, then you deserve some kudos there. Right. There, of course, some people may have picked the same character, and in the instance that 2 people pick the same character, that character gets a bye into the semifinals. That's why a lot of these are actually going to be a bit faster than you might think. Oh. Now that I've said all of that and gotten that out of the way, and we're already 15 to 20 minutes into the show, let's get started with this. We are going to actually, you know what? Let's do this. Megan, I'm going to give you the choice. Do you want to start with waifus or husbandos?
I feel like the waifus are the main event, so we should start with husbandos.
All right.
Get so warmed up.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, we'll start with husbandos. Ward, I'm going to let you choose the first division we tackle.
Ooh. Let's start off with some chaos. Let's go for the Wildcard division.
Oh my god, already.
All right. Already. Gotta come on strong.
You're blowing it out early.
Here we go. Okay, the first matchup in the Husbando Wildcard division, we have from the Buffy the Vampire TV series, Rupert Giles. It's one of my picks. And from the Mass Effect video game series, we have Garrus.
Oh, that's hard.
No, it's not. It's Garrus.
Well, they're both kind of nerdy badasses. Like, okay, Giles is extremely nerdy.
Yeah. Is it Giles or Giles? I know both
of these things.
I think it's Giles.
It's Giles.
Yeah. Sometimes I say Giles, but I'm the one who made the pick. But yes,
if it's not obvious, Garrus is mine.
And Giles is also mine. I actually haven't watched the Buffy the Vampire series in a long time. When I was trying to think of picks for the wild card, I wanted to go for at least one that was like a little unconventional, not necessarily super recent. So,
yeah,
I would say
I was threatened with murder if I didn't pick Garrus by my wife.
Like the monster fucker in me wants to go for Garrus.
Oh, man.
And now you made it weird. I would like to retract this pick.
Also, he's romanceable in Mass Effect 2, and he has a very nice voice. Have you ever played Mass Effect 2? Am I the only one that did?
No, I've played the whole series.
Okay.
Why do you think
Did you romance him?
Of course I did.
There we go.
Oh boy.
What about you other nerds? No.
So I have to say that I have yet to finish playing Mass Effect. I barely started playing the first part of the Legendary Collection and hadn't finished it because I got diverted by other games.
I still haven't played
I'm right there with you. I've gotten distracted by so many different games. I haven't been able to get invested in it. But I will tell you, I have watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer all the way through several times.
True.
So Giles is definitely my pick.
Nice. So we have this odd 2-on-2 situation, it seems like right now, where Megan and Brandon have formed an unholy alliance.
Monster fucking will do that too.
Oh, God.
So
I've seen fan art.
It's gonna it's going to be hard, and I'm going to start the 3-minute timer now. Megan, it's going to be hard to convince me to go against my own pick. But since I haven't played Mass Effect, the whole Mass Effect series, I'm not going to mind spoilers in this. I want you to give me an example of what makes him husbando material. Was something he did, or just something about his character?
It's been so long. It's just the fact that, like, you get to romance him, like, you get to pick him, and also that he's, like, surprised and very sweet that, like, you're interested in him is very cute, and, like, he has a really nice voice. I think his design is cool. Also, he's a super badass. God, what's his nickname when you, like, first meet him?
Archangel.
Yeah.
And that actually doesn't happen until game 2, but yeah, it is his nickname.
He's very badass. He's very good at shooting gun. He's a great party member to bring in your party.
May I take over, please?
Yes, please, go ahead. I don't know why it's not even my pick, and he's like, Megan, convince me. I'm like,
All right, here's the thing. Garrus he goes from, like, very unsure of himself, going against his superior's orders, something that his species is not naturally known for. And then he just immediately gets convinced that he's doing the right thing by siding with you. He goes from being very shy and awkward to being extremely confident and an extremely loving and supportive partner. He's a badass. After he thinks you're dead in the second game, he basically starts emulating you and forms a squad of other badasses to take out, people who are hurting other folks. And then, like, all of his romanceable scenes are just like him, not necessarily just being, cute and romantic, but being, continuously declaring he will support you. He's got your back. And if you both die, well, he'll meet you at the bar in heaven. It's the best romance for Femshep in the entire series, bar none. I don't care. Thane lovers come at me. I will die on this hill.
Ward, I'm going to give you the remaining minute to talk about Rupert Giles from your point of view. Why do you like Giles so much? Man.
Rupert Giles is like the quintessential, like, protector. Is like he's the one who is going to be there and, like, look after you, take care of you, and do everything he can to support you.
You're not going to bring up his secret bad boy past?
Well, and yes, that's a problem. It's like the reason why he has that, like, strength and knowledge is because he is a secret badass. That's the thing. Is like he can, like, turn the flip and be like, okay, well, hold on, let me put on my leather jacket again and go back to my leather pants days.
Okay, you know what? You've convinced me.
Yeah.
I remember.
Isn't he supposed to be like the awkward teen dad of all these teenagers?
Yeah, and then somebody fucks with Buffy in a really bad way, and he, like, puts on his leather jacket and goes and kicks the shit out of the guy who did it, and, like, smokes a cigarette, and it's super hot.
Yes.
I changed my
All right.
Woo!
Okay. There we go.
You all disgust me.
Rupert Giles moves on. I'm actually surprised by that one. Okay. Next one. We have Hal from Hal's Moving Castle. And then we have from the Dead Space game. Isaac Clarke.
Oh my god!
You're pitting us against each other? Oh well, of course it's fair.
I wasn't going to have everything be Megan, your guys' picks against one of our picks. Come on now.
Fair is fair. Fair is fair.
Well, I have to say, Hal, I think, wins this one just for being more stable.
What? That's the thing.
More
it's like
put together.
Isaac's instability is his charm. He's so committed, he loses his mind.
That he might stab your eye out,
Well, I mean, a little bit. Like, just a little bit.
Look, you get to live in a moving castle. You get to hang out with Calcifer, and you get to do magic.
Yeah, but is he really that committed, though?
He absolutely is.
Here's the thing.
You have to go back in time and save his life. And, like, also end the world war that's going on. But then, yeah, he's...
And here's the thing, Megan, you made a strategically very sound choice in picking Hal because I know who Hal is, and yeah, Hal has my vote. Like, there's no contest.
Particularly Christian Bale voiced Hal.
Oh, it's hard to fight that one, though. I mean,
oh my god!
That's the thing is, like,
when he
Isaac doesn't have a lot of voice lines. So.
When he and Sophie first meet, and he, like, puts his arm around her, and he's like, "There you are, darling." I'm like, "Oh shit!" And then he takes her flying across the city, like, so romantic.
I have seen neither of these things. I have not watched Howl's Moving Castle. I have not played the Dead Space games.
Really?
So what I have done is open 2 tabs and Google image search these characters. And I'm going entirely based on looks. So my vote goes to Howl.
Wow.
All right.
Howl is very pretty.
How shallow. Amazing. Here we go.
Look, I do like.
This is all you give me time for, okay?
I did show the list of these names a day beforehand, so people had some time to prepare in advance.
Yeah, my
right.
brother-in-law and his wife were in town. I didn't have time to look up any of these people.
You have.
All right. The next matchup. First off, we have from Pride and Prejudice, Mr. Darcy, specifically the Colin Firth version of Mr. Darcy from
Hell
the
yeah.
1995 BBC miniseries. I have not watched this, but when you said the Colin Firth version, I'm like, okay, what the hell is she talking about? So I did.
Oh my god, young culture wine.
Yeah. Mr. Darcy, as portrayed by Mr. Firth, is going up against the one and only Geralt of Rivia.
Ooh.
I'm sorry. I have not watched this Pride and Prejudice series.
You
and
do
it's
know
been
who
ages.
Mr. Darcy
Oh
is,
my
right?
I do. It's
Like,
been ages since
popping up
I've read
everywhere.
that.
Mr. Darcy.
It's been ages since I read that in high school, and all I have to say is recency bias combined with the fact that Mr. Darcy and Pride and Prejudice has kind of faded into obscurity for me. There's no way there's no way that anyone can sway me from my pick of Geralt of Rivia.
And I'm going to support you on that because Pride and Prejudice is overrated as fuck.
Oh,
Henry Cavill is absolutely not.
Stick your head in a lake.
God.
Look,
I stand
Mr.
by
Darcy is the original husbando, and if you have no
Exactly.
respect for the classics and the foundation upon which you walk, you deserve to fall, sir.
If adaptations
Mr.
of
Darcy
Pride and
walks with Geralt
Prejudice
to run
are
down.
better than the original, it sucks.
What?
There's a
No,
reason,
I'm just
there's a
saying the
reason
Colin
why Pride
Firth
and Prejudice
version
keeps
because
getting remade.
he's
because
cute.
everyone wants to keep telling that story.
Yes.
Everybody wants
Okay.
to be Mr. Darcy.
we can't go
Literally
10 years
everybody
without a
wants to
new
be
Pride
Mr.
and
Darcy.
Prejudice.
Ward, are you siding with Megan on this one?
Yes.
I'm starting the timer now. I'm not going to debate too much about Geralt of Rivia because I think a lot of people are aware with who Geralt is
Okay.
and aware with the series. I'm going to say
Is it
one thing.
in
I'm going to ask
Geralt?
you one
Okay.
question.
No, that's
This
One-
is a
one
legit question. Is it game Geralt, book Geralt, or TV show Geralt? Because those are three very different characters.
Okay, I'm primarily going with game Geralt, but I think that the series Geralt is fine too. Book Geralt, I've not read the book, but here, let me ask you a quick question so that you can talk. Is your support of this character more in support of Mr. Darcy, or is this in support of Colin Firth?
I don't know. It's both. Like, I think
Okay.
I actually went through my head and was like, what's the best rendition of Mr. Darcy that I enjoy the most? And I think it's the Colin Firth version. Although I really love the Keira Knightley movie version. I think it has a lot of romantic and sexual tension in it, but the BBC series just catches the wit, the verbal sparring, the humor so much better.
Yeah.
And Colin Firth as Mr. Darcy is he's the right level of like befuddled, charming. The thing about Mr. Darcy is that he has a really good heart, but he has too much pride. And that's the point, is that like he's his own worst enemy. That's the point of the character dynamic, is that both of the main leads have they're their own worst enemies, and they're getting in their own way to be with each other. And the fact that they're able to overcome that and figure out that the other is not what they first thought is like, that's the whole story. It's a long romance of them getting to know each other and realizing how compatible they are and how much they love each other. And like in romance fiction, that's not how it usually goes. It's usually like we look at each other, wow, that's a hot person, and now I'm in love with them. But in Pride and Prejudice, it's like they see each other, they're like, yeah, that person's hot, but they're annoying and I don't like them. And then they get to know each other and they're like, oh, my first impressions were wrong, and I actually really love who they truly are underneath, because they both kind of put up a front. And oh my god, Colin Firth in the BBC series is so cute. he's got the cutest facial expressions, and they added a bunch of scenes of him bathing for some reason. Like
they needed to include extra fan service to win people over.
It's the only way you make that story palatable.
None of the women bathe, none of the women do anything, but he gets in the bathtub all the time. And like there's a scene where Elizabeth is like in his house, but she's touring it as like this is something that people could do, like tour rich people's houses, like, ooh, the fancy estate. And she's like there, he's not supposed to know she's there. And then he shows up coming home. She thought he was out of town, but he's like, oh, I've just had a long, hot ride. I better jump in the pond, like take off my shirt and everything and like dive in the water and then climb out of the water. So of course Elizabeth comes out of the house and she sees him like sauntering up the path all like soaking wet with his shirt all clinging to him and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay. So it's been 3 minutes. Brandy, do you have anything you want to quickly say about Geralt before I probably take this to the dice spots, because I think that's where this is going.
Yeah.
So I have not finished any game in the Witcher series. I haven't watched the series. I don't really have much going for me. So I'm basing this. I'm even setting aside my dislike of Pride and Prejudice and just going, okay, who's more handsome, Henry Cavill or Colin Firth? Henry Cavill wins.
Geralt is a fuckboy.
All right. So this is what we're gonna do.
Girls never made a woman happy.
Ooh!
Wow.
Ooh.
Megan, in the Discord for our channel, I want you to put roll d20, and then I have to beat that.
Word?
Or / roll space d20.
Yeah, that.
D20.
All right, you rolled a 7 out of 20. So if I beat a 7, Geralt advances. Otherwise, it was meant to be a mystery.
You guys don't even like Geralt.
Wow.
Huh?
You guys don't even. You're like, I haven't played the games. I haven't done the whatever. But he saw it. You guys are shallow.
You know what? I will absolutely own the fact that I'm shallow with this.
Husbando does not run deep.
It's a fictional character tournament. I feel it's justified. Hey, Geralt wins.
Geralt wins with a 13. The unlucky number beats the lucky number. See, Brandon's not going to be the only one to have some hard losses here.
Yeah.
See, You guys are extremely shallow, so I'm just going to link you the pond scene.
Okay.
So that you can know fully what you're giving up.
I will watch that after we record as part of Penitence. So there you go. The final two characters that we have are Eomer from Lord of the Rings, and from the Trigun anime, Vash the Stampede.
Oh, that's easy.
Bash.
That is easy.
Vash is my boy.
Oh man, the loner with the troubled past who's trying to escape things, but is trying to bury all of his sadness with a giddy happiness and like laissez-faire attitude. Amazing.
Yeah, it's true. He's like. He seems like really annoying, but it's all a front because he's really a sad boy. It's it's like fucking husbando catnip.
Mm-hmm.
Dear God.
Brandon.
Yes.
Tell me about Eomer.
I don't know. I just find him to be like the character who's torn between his duty to his father and what he knows is right. And ultimately, in the end, he chooses to do the right thing. Also, his actor is...
what? Movie. I was going to say books or movie, because he's...
Books, because, I mean, also, he's played by Carl Urban, and I just have a love for that man that I cannot describe. So, if I can't sway you with that kind of attitude over anime boy with the ridiculous spiky hair here, then I will
Carl
just
Urban is extremely hot.
It was in the style of the time, okay?
So here's
honestly,
the thing.
I should have picked the live action Judge Dredd for one of my husbandos. Because, like, damn.
This isn't going to dice because I'm absolutely going with Vash the Stampede.
Woo!
He's too well developed. You know,
Trigun was one of my favorite animes in high school. So it's just sympathy there, and yes, the character, just the positivity he would try to show and such. Big fan.
Well, both of my picks go out in round 1 to absolutely ridiculous opponents. So,
Well, hey, Megan suffered a hard loss too with losing Mr. Darcy. So
you guys are just
The world suffered
uncultured,
a loss
all right?
losing Mr. Darcy.
I've just learned that I am of a higher class of husbando appreciator.
I will absolutely give you that. Yeah, I will absolutely let you win that.
I think
I
that
will
he was.
also
He
give you
was
it that Pride and Prejudice is overrated as fuck.
I will fight you, sir. Have you
That's
read it
fighting words.
recently?
Yes, I have. Have I seen
you
the
watched
Colin
any
Firth
of the
miniseries?
adaptations?
Yes, I have. Have you met my wife? She is absolutely in love with this book. I hate it.
Well,
Oh man.
your wife is cooler than you, but we knew that. already.
Obviously, that's never been in question.
Please later tell your wife that you voted against Mr. Darcy.
Ooh.
She will in no way be surprised, but she will cackle that he won.
Okay,
Oh, man.
He
Brandon.
would have won anyway.
Brandon, since you lost both of your picks, I'm going to give you the choice to choose both the conference and the division we talk about next. If you want to hop back over the waifus, you can, or we can continue on in the Husbando conference.
Let's go. Let's stick in the Husbando division and go over to the Aetheris conference.
All right. Aetheris Husbandos. So we have a couple of spots that are going to advance to the semifinals immediately, and so we won't be talking about them much just yet. Ardbert received 2 votes, so he gets to automatically advance. He will be
Okay, I say
going.
Zim convinced me.
We're now going to talk about who Ardbert may be going up against. So, on one side, we have Americ, and on the other side, we have Hildebrand Manderville.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Man, for
Are you
all
actually
seasons.
sitting here and telling me that
randomly
Americ is going to lose to Hildebrand?
I'm
I
like,
randomly
The
seeded these,
gentleman.
Brandon. Fate could be
gentleman is rather than does.
Okay. If you husbando Hildebrand, do you get to have Hildebrand adventures constantly? I don't know. That would be fucking
fuck.
exhausting.
No.
Oh man.
Oh my
Well, you
god.
realize that half the time Nasha is just like asleep, standing on her feet.
Uh-huh.
Like that's how she has to survive through all of it. She's just like she's sleeping half the time. That's fine.
Oh my god. I'm sorry, I can't vote against Emmerich. Are you kidding me?
The absolute disgustingness of this mismatch is
It is a little
making my
only-
freaking pad thai turn in my stomach.
It was absolutely
God.
randomly seeded, Brandon. I'm so
Oh.
sorry.
Oh,
I'm
Despicable.
also very sorry because if I had more than 2 picks, I would have had Americ in them. So I think Americ's going to be a 3-1 here.
oh man. The gentleman of light
Hildebrand.
falls
Of
the first
all the
round.
men in this game, you pick Hildebrand.
Yes.
My god. And you people call me uncultured.
Oh. Ow.
Just know that Ward, you merely adopted the anime bullshit. He was born in it.
Molded
I
by
run
it.
screaming from the anime bullshit. What are you talking about? I do Hildebrand in protest.
Oh man, this will be like the 3rd or 4th time I've gone through the entire series. Chef's kiss.
Oh,
Oh man! All right. Our next person who immediately goes to the semifinals with a bye is Hian, who is picked by both Ward and myself.
Mhm.
that's fair.
So Hian will advance, and
Good voice,
Hian
nice
will be going up against either Vritra
Jesus fuck.
or
Yeah!
or
Monster fucker, baby!
Oh my god.
or
I mean the dragon version! Not the Aura puppet, alright?
Okay, but glad you're not talking about the little boy.
No. Full dragon sex. It's possible.
Christ.
I
Can you
replayed
please just name
fucking
his
Heaven's
opponent so I
Ward.
can start yelling?
well, Brandon, Vritra's opponent is Emmett Selk. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm
Vritra's
out. Fine.
Vritra's opponent is Aaronville.
Oh no, why would you do this to me?
Mm,
Ow!
mm,
Tough choice.
No, it's
Tough
not.
choice.
mm.
I'm
There's
physically
there's the handsome cat boy.
So
there's the
I have a
dragon who will
question.
kill
Fine
you.
boy.
I have a question. So, are we referring to specifically Vritra in dragon form?
Yes.
Okay, if we were responding specifically to Vritra in dragon form, I have to go with Aaronville.
Yep.
Coward.
Man.
You're all cowards. Look, I replayed Heaven's Ward recently, and I know it's possible. Don't let your dreams be dreams.
You make this harder for me, okay? So I feel like there's the two parts. It's like, of course, Vritra is the kind of like dedicated person who will wait eons just to do the right thing. Like
he's noble and kind and fair-minded.
We'll try to like build something out of nothing just to make life better for everyone around him.
He scraped off his own scales to make the warding scales for us, and like hurted himself. He's an amazing person,
right? And
he's also a giant fucking dragon.
We've only seen like part of Aaronville's story. It's like Aaronville is definitely going to be playing like a much larger role in Dawn Trail, and so I feel like to give him the win now, and it's like I barely know the dude.
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna get to know him a lot better in Dawn Trail.
Yeah, like we already did 5 quests. He's been like, okay, yes, he does the right thing, and like it's a complicated world he lives in, especially in like old Charlian, where people are just like so cold and calculating, and he goes with his gut and be like, okay, well, I think this is the right thing to do, so I'm just going to do it. So it's like he definitely seems like a good guy. But like, I feel like we just don't know him. We played so much, like through so much with Vritra, and like getting to see all the backstory, especially all the things we had to do in the 13th.
We rode Vritra into battle. God damn it!
That's true.
He's the best boy. Honestly, I fucking love Vritra. Maybe my number one husbando after Graha. Also, where's Graha in this? Oh no, wait, he'll be in the science one. I was right. Anyway, I think that's the best. Yeah, Word says, well, Vritra.
You're both going with Vritra.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm starting the clock. Brandon, talk about Aaronville.
I feel like this is going to be more slamming Vritra than it is going to be talking about the good parts of Aaronville.
Well, that's bullshit then. If you can't talk up your guy, if you have to resort to down-talking the other guy...
Husbando is not just a pretty face, okay?
Yeah, you've already admitted you're lost.
Aaronville is handsome as hell. He is thorough as hell. He is extremely smart. And
there's nobody mentioning the voice.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's also that. I kind of just wrapped that up in the whole handsome package.
I think a voice is different from being handsome.
Can I have my time, please? Can I have my time? Thank you.
Just trying to
channeling presidential debates here. Anyway, there is absolutely nothing bad you can say about this guy. He's fun to tease, as evidenced by his interactions with Wook Lamont, and he's also not going to, eat you in order to actually have a physical union, or wander around in the body of a child 90% of the time, because the only reason he decides to be an adult is the game doesn't want to put a child into harm's way in a dungeon.
Yeah, well, he went around as a child because he didn't want to he didn't want anybody to be like, that's a hot Aura guy, I should hit on him. And he's like, you know what, I'll just be a kid.
Honestly, his adult Aura form isn't even all that hot. He's kind of dopey looking.
Oh my god, no, his Aura version is mega hot.
Nah, he looks he looks like he's bored all the time.
Yeah,
seriously, he has a look on his face.
Have you considered that?
I'm sorry. I think I'm changing my vote.
Oh my god!
There you go. Yes.
Oh no! It's I completely forgot all of his interactions with Wook Lamont, and all.
We're gonna get way more of that in Dawn Trail. It hasn't even begun yet.
I know.
Good. Let's just go ahead. Let's just go ahead and give him the win early. He deserves it.
The thing is, we do see a lot of the interaction between Vritra and all the different people who serve him, and he's kind of a dead fish with that stuff too.
Oh my god, no, he's
not. I'm going to say
his cute.
I'm going to say this.
Sister.
Yeah, that he left in the void and
because he couldn't get her, and then we got her out for we had the first opportunity in a bajillion years, and we got her, and he was great.
Yeah, and he couldn't even do it without our help.
Yeah.
If it hadn't been for the most recent patch, I would probably be choosing Vritra, but for similar reasons that Ward chose, the interactions with Wook Lamont and stuff, and showing that there's a lot more to Aaronville than just him being a hot bunny boy.
You guys are all cowards.
While we don't know everything about Aaronville, part of the appeal to me is the mystery of finding out more about Aaronville, which is why I'm
Fine.
I'm sorry. I don't think that the only way we can physically enjoy our union is for my boyfriend to eat me alive.
That is not why he did that. He did that because she was mortal and she was going to die and he would lose her forever and he was going to go on for eternity. So he ate her so that she would be part of him forever instead of just dying and rotting in the fucking ground. It wasn't their sex thing. It wasn't a sex thing. They had sex completely separately from that.
God.
Ward, you flipped to Aaronville, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Aaronville moves on. All right.
Justice for
You can fuck
Vicarian.
dragons without them eating us, all right? You can.
Okay, Megan, scion or antagonist, where do we go next?
Antagonist, hell yeah. Bring it on.
Okay. First off, I'm going to mention that we did have 2 people automatically advance to the semifinals. The first person who automatically advances is Emmett Selk.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Of course.
Emmett
Selk. Oh man, this is going to make someone angry. So the 2 people who have the opportunity to go up against Emmett Selk. The first one is Frey. I don't know who Frey is.
He's not an antagonist.
Play the damn Dark Knight storyline, Ro. Dear God.
He's not an antagonist. He's just angry.
Hey, if I have to fight him in a solo duty, he's an antagonist.
No, he's not an antagonist. He's just trying to
If
get
I have to fight him,
anger.
he's an antagonist.
No, that is not how that works.
And yet, it did. He's
no,
here.
He's not an antagonist. He's not trying to, stop you or prevent you from reaching your goals. He's trying to help you reach your goals.
Would anyone like to know Frey's opponent?
Okay, let me guess.
I don't care. I'm not going to vote for them.
Frey's opponent is my pick. And when I went for picks here, I went for picks I felt good about, but also, when possible, if I could think of an unconventional pick that I strongly believed in, I went for it. And I went for an antagonist that isn't probably in your top 3 list when you think of antagonists. Mm-hmm. And this isn't a classical antagonist as in, oh my gosh, you have to beat this person as the last boss of an expansion. I went with Fortunal Leveilleur.
Ooh, that actually is a good choice.
Oh,
I retract my words about not even considering them. I retract them fully.
He is pretty antagony.
Yeah.
He is.
I actually really liked his whole arc of realizing that his kids actually know what the fuck they're doing and learning to support
I
them.
did too.
Yeah, and the reason why he's set up as an antagonist is because he's so protective of them.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Is our first 4-0 pick going to actually be against Brandon's initial choice?
You know what? I'm in. You've convinced me.
All right.
Wow.
Let me just be clear here. I threw in protest votes for this division because I hate villain romancing so fucking much. My initial 2 picks were people that I had to fight in class duties, and they were Astinian and Frey. Ro made me change Astinian, so I came back with Ardbert for the same reason, and he made me throw him out as well.
True.
He's so cute and you can change him.
I don't give a fuck.
All right. So we have that one figured out. So Fortunal advances. I'm happy about that. I figured at least that none of my picks were going to advance, but
you deserve it for the creativity, my friend. That is a great
thank
pick.
you. Mm-hmm. Thank you. The next one who auto advances into the semifinals is Xenos.
You're all fucking disgusting.
My boy. That booty, though.
Juicy.
It's a lie. We've had this conversation.
His titties are not a lie. He puts them out there.
Yeah, that's true.
A low-cut shirt. Look, you said you were shallow when it came to Mr. Darcy versus Geralt, so I get to be shallow when it comes to Xenos.
Neither of those 2 people want nothing but to kill me.
Man, I think the authorities are after
just want to
Xenos.
fight.
He just wants to fight until you can't go on anymore. And when you can't fight anymore, you got to do something else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kill him.
Maybe he just has Lae'zel logic, and he wants to fight to see who's at the bottom.
Yep.
All right. The final possible spot for the semifinals. We have Golbez or Durant, the person who we think is Golbez.
Golbez, yeah.
Going up against Gaius Van Baelsar.
Oh, Gaius is such a daddy.
He is a daddy. He has adopted children. It's like how
all of whom he let die.
Yeah, but that was really tragic, and he felt really bad about it.
Oh no, that excuses everything.
Look, he's really hot. You've heard his voice.
Who's shallow now?
Yeah, I am shallow. Deal with it.
Oh.
Look, when it comes to villains, they're gonna be shitty people, so you gotta go on who's the hottest.
I think that Durant's not so bad looking either, underneath that armor, for one. I think that Golbez is a very interesting pick because he's not just... here's the thing. Is Gaius Van Baelsar a great antagonist and possibly husbando material? Yeah, sure. But you know what? Just as we've had some wild picks here for some very stupid, shallow reasons, the reason why I'm siding with Golbez on this one is nostalgia. It's Golbez. And Final Fantasy IV was one of my favorite RPG games of all time. I thought that the way that they treated Golbez and gave a twist on it in 14 was pretty freaking great and unexpected. And I think that the story behind who Golbez is, at least in this universe, was kind of compelling and more than just the Saturday morning cartoon material I thought they were going to make out of him during the first half of the whole quest series.
I would say
I'm going with Golbez here.
I would say all of that applies to Gaius.
Yep.
And Gaius is hotter.
We always thought that he was going to be the Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Well, he was. At us.
In Realm Reborn, he was a Saturday morning cartoon villain in his giant armor going, and we were like, what? This is not my intention.
Yeah.
Look, Gaius has like the meme villain speech.
Yeah.
Like, and now he's like taking off his mask and he's like fathering children. Not in that way, although he could if he wanted.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do.
I've started the clock, by the way.
Golbez was my third pick after Ro kibosh two of them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually care about him very much. I picked him because I Googled FF14 redeemed villains, and he was the first one that popped up, probably due to recency bias.
Yeah,
I'm siding with Gaius strictly to make you have to pick between him and Xenos.
Wow.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
Tactical choice.
It is a very interesting choice, indeed. All right. Gaius advances. With that, we've just got one division left for the Husbando Conference. So let's talk about some Scions. Would you be interested in hearing that only one character made it into the semifinals from the Scions automatically, which you would think is kind of weird because it's not like there's that many Scions. I'll get to that in a second.
Really?
Yeah, but the Scion picks are all good boys.
So advancing into the semifinals automatically is Grahatia.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Pick the worst one.
I'm going to pick one of these. Okay, we'll pick this one. The next, going up against Graha, is going to be either Thancred or Thancred. Here's the thing.
Wow.
Here's the thing.
This is
I know exactly why.
One person told me Thancred, so I'm like, okay. The second person specifically said cutscene Thancred.
Because that is the only time he is hot.
It's true.
He's so hot in the cutscenes.
Yeah.
And he is such a 12-year-old boy in the game.
That's what you think 12-year-old boys look like?
No, look at his face. Oh my god, he has the babyest face. He looks younger than Alphinope.
Yep.
But like, it wouldn't be as funny if they weren't like, yes, this is our grizzled old man surrogate father figure.
Like the doughiest face ever made.
And that wouldn't even bother me as much if they didn't make him super like grizzled and sexy and older looking in the cutscenes. It's like, okay, clearly the cutscenes is what he's supposed to look like, but they're stuck with this babyface model, and when they're like, we're redoing all the side models to give him like unique models, I'm like, Thancred. He will shoot from my least favorite to my most favorite overnight.
Ward, I want to know your choice.
Of Thancred and Thancred?
Thancred or cutscene Thancred?
That's got to be cutscene Thancred.
Okay.
Cutscene Thancred is the one who is like, is the one we actually see like guiding Reen out of Yulmore.
Oh my god, the scene in the Shadowbreakers opening cinematic when he like cuts down the lion and he's like, "Well, this place hasn't changed for the better." Oh my god, so hot! Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
Brandon, are you fine with cutscene Thancred, or do you want to?
The distinction is bullshit. I don't care. Go for it.
Cutscene Thancred. Yes.
Please don't refer to him as such in subsequent rounds. I beg of you.
Okay, there we go.
Oh no, I have to mention him as cutscene Thancred. I mean, it was specified by me. And so.
This is a fun show. Why is it giving me a headache?
Next
Plus
up,
5 to hit is the one that's supposed to make me feel this level of anxiety. Why is APR doing it too?
Next up, we have Arnvald going up against Urianger.
Arnvald, what?
Arnvald, yes. Please do not tell me you don't remember him.
I need help. It sounds like Arnvald and Arden. Like
Arnvald is the Alamegan kid who has the white X painted on his face to hide the fact that his mother dug his garling eye out.
Okay, he looks like a robe, but with like a sheer face. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, we'll go with that.
And he's up against who?
He's up against my pick, Urianger. So I'm going to say that for the longest time,
I'm not into either of them.
I was not especially that sold on Urianger. However, in Endwalker, the development that they showed with him there, just him kind of realizing, reflecting on his past, the choices that he made when you go through the Quest in the Loprit series, and then the heartbreaking scene when he finally meets up with Moonbreeda's parents, and they just talk it out, and I'm like, you know what? Okay, you're an okay guy. And I didn't want to go with Thancred or Graha because I knew that they were going to get picked. I went with Urianger because I'm like, you know what? He deserves a little love and respect as well.
Ironically, I picked Arnvald because I assumed Urianger would make it in.
Oh wow.
I don't find either of them hot, and I don't mean this in a bad way. I love Urianger. He is a goofy little boy. I love his card stuff. I love his overall.
Sometimes Husbando doesn't have to be sexy.
I would ship him with someone else, but I would not ship him with myself. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to see him happy. I want to see him in love. I want to see him, heal from his trauma. But I'm like, but it's not me. I am not the one who could do this, who would do this. That's how I feel about Urianger. The other guy, I barely remembered existed.
Jesus Christ.
Good job, buddy. You went into a tower and you got smacked real hard, and now you feel bad. And to me, you were background noise to Alphino's story. And good job.
Have you done the, which one does he appear in? I think it's the healer role quest in Endwalker.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, he's extremely prominent in there, and you get a lot more character development from him post his injury. Yes.
Yeah, he's the one who's going around trying to reconcile all the people of Alamigo.
What? Maybe I didn't finish that. I don't know.
He's one, literally having to be wheeled around, but, okay, it's like, hey,
Is he hanging out with, what's-her-face?
He's hanging out with Ralbon and Fordola for most of that, and only because he is basically unable to walk is the only reason he doesn't fight alongside you any longer.
Okay. Then I'll vote for him because unknown is better than, no to will.
What?
Yeah.
What kind of sense does that make?
Well, it's like,
it makes no sense, but she's on my side, so I'm not complaining.
Oh,
Okay, Ward, where are you on this?
I was gonna go for Urianger because it's like Urianger is the one who you have a heart to heart with out on the moon, and it's like really come to terms with him, and you help him like understand that like yes, he feels like he's been played a shitty hand, and yes, he feels like he's been like backed up into this role, but that like it's not something you hold against him. It's like we know that like you're doing the best that you think.
That's the thing.
You can.
I just get major brother vibes from Urianger. Like he's my bro, but like my brother in like actual like I feel philia for him. All right, there is no Eros there at all.
That's true. That's true. But that's the thing. It's like I feel like Husbando doesn't have to be all Eros.
No, it doesn't have to be all Eros, but there needs to be some Eros.
Okay.
All right. We've talked about this for over 3 minutes. I do think that we remain at a tie. So, Brandon, it's you and I rolling off to determine the fate here.
Oh, frick.
Let the gods decide.
Try again. Yeah,
13, respectable roll.
bad. Does Urianger beat the bad luck number?
Oh, just barely. Okay.
Fate is on his side.
I'm not mad about this.
All right. I mean, at least it's not like he lost on the roll to Graha Tia,
Then I'd be mad. Then I'd be extremely mad.
Okay. Next up, Brandon and I are at it again because Megan and Ward agreed on Thancred and Graha. So, Brandon, you and I are at it again. Your pick of Estinian. Someone who you wanted to have in 2 different brackets, and I made you had to change your mind on it. Estinian is technically an antagonist for part of the game. I realize it, but multiple brackets is complicated, so I made you change. But we got.
I mean, he is kind of like a final boss, but it's not really him. Okay, it was the dragon.
It's a dragon.
It was the Dragon Balls that he touched.
Yep.
So,
at the same time,
your Estinian's opponent is one of my picks, again unconventional, and it may be the most unfair pick I could make.
Uh-oh.
Estinian's opponent is Meteor.
what?
And by that I mean the cutscene warrior of light. You went with cutscene Thancred.
Okay.
I'm going with a cutscene character too.
Okay,
Oh,
are we allowed to
man.
include the latest cutscene because he was really hot?
Oh.
And the
Shit.
like, honestly, he's kind of derpy before that, but when he took off that hood and he had the long hair and he was all grizzled, shit, I was
Oh,
down.
man.
I will-
About, like,
To be
also-
fair,
Also,
to give him credit, Estinian in the Dawn Trail trailer is pretty good too.
True.
let me clarify something. Estinian is not one of my picks for the Scion division. I picked Thancred and Arnvald. So I'm still going to give my vote to Estinian because as far as I'm concerned, in my headcanon, Meteor is just Ardbert and doesn't really exist. So there you go.
Oh yeah, who else had picked? Who picked Estinian in? Was that you, Ward?
Husbando
I think-
division? Yes.
In the
Yes.
Scion,
He's
in the
a
Scion division
dragoon
specifically.
through and through.
Oh, man. Dragoon buddies for life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I picked him as a I picked him in the antagonist division.
Okay. True.
And then
Okay. So it's my pick.
Blood
It's
forever.
technically my pick against Ward. So
Yeah.
Yes.
So Ward, thoughts? Can you be swayed by cutscene Meteor, or are you still behind the
Okay,
scene?
cutscene Meteor is pretty hot, but I feel like
Cutscene Estinian is also really
yes.
hot.
And if we're gonna talk about like sweaty Estinian just doing push-ups.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh.
God.
Oh my! Oh my! And all the leather pants he's wearing as he's like flipping out your window. It's like, oh yes. But okay, like cutscene aside, I feel like Estinian has to be because he's there for you through thick and thin, and like when you're gonna be like taking the 1% chance to like try and end the war that had consumed his entire life and it was like his entire purpose for being, he was there with you for that 1% chance. And when that war was over, he realized that he didn't have like a life to live on his own. So he went on a journey of discovery. Where did it lead him? Back to you. So yes, that's why he's the one who's always going to be by your side. So that's why it has to be Estinian.
Brandon, you're with Estinian, right?
Yes. Let me reiterate. Do any of you play a male Midlander Warrior of Light with the default appearance?
No.
then he doesn't exist. Estinian wins by default, as far as I'm concerned.
Megan, are you with Estinian?
I have to go with Estinian. He's
Okay.
like Meteor is cute, and like I like the cutscene representation and everything.
An actual challenge. It was an actual challenge.
It was an actual challenge, but like as much as I love to tease Estinian, I do it out of love.
All right. Given the amount of time that we have spent, I think I'm going to go with my plan of this episode being one conference and the other episode being the other conference. So this will be we'll finish up this episode and do the rest of the Husbandos and figure out the Husbando conference winner. We'll be saving waifus for the next one. We might even record that in a week instead of 2 weeks, who knows. But let's finish up the Husbandos here and get to the semifinals. Brandon, pick which division we go to first.
Where am I going to be annoyed the least? Let's stick with the Scions.
All right. So we have Estinian against Urianger. I'm going to say, God, even though Urianger was my pick, I have to go with Estinian.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Estinian. There's some arrows.
Yeah.
I will throw a sympathy vote to Urianger, but not now.
All right. These ones are going to be, I think, relatively fast because we've done most of the talking already. Now this one may be a little tricky. Graha Tia against Cutscene Thancred.
Graha.
Yeah.
This is Thancred.
100% Graha.
Never in a billion years, ever. Estinian.
Thancred would not be able to wait for
Thancred.
400 years.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry, but Graha is literally your boyfriend confirmed.
Yep.
Nope.
Graha is the Husbando Y'shtola. I gotta go with Graha.
Oh yeah.
He's got such a great voice, man.
Oh yeah.
Which means that brings us to the finals for this division. Graha versus Estinian.
Do I even need to say anything else?
No, I'm pretty sure you're behind Estinian. The thing is, I know that Megan for sure is behind Graha. I think the most interesting thing is going to be who's Ward going to choose.
I know, my two husbandos.
You know where your heart lies, Ward.
It's two different buddies. I mean, there's the buddy who's there with you all the time and is like, he's always got your back, and the one who's like hiding behind the bush being like, isn't he so cute? Like, okay, like it's kind of like adorable that Grahatia would just like hide in the shadows and be like, I just gonna watch the Warrior of Light do their thing because I love watching them so much. Cute, also a little creepy.
Well, yes, because he's in love with you.
Yes, and I feel like
Eros is insanity.
It is a bit of insanity. It is a bit of insanity.
Look, that was him when you very first met him. He has grown so much since then.
And so is his insanity.
Years to try and melt that.
The fact that you get to tease him about how cringy he used to be, and he is embarrassed by it, is
that's
fucking
true.
adorable.
That's true because we are now with post Crystal Exarch Graha.
Uh-huh.
So if the options were Crystal Tower Graha and Estinian, the answer would be like hands down Estinian.
But no.
But I feel like if we're like post Endwalker Graha of like, I'm going to be with you the whole way through. All I want is just one more adventure with you, one for the history books. It's that Graha.
Yeah, he's so sweet and he's so like devoted, and like literally you're like tied together by fate and time travel. Mm-hmm. And like he was literally like, oh, how do I save the world? I gotta get the Warrior of Light. It's like, that's your answer for everything. It's like, yeah.
All right, Brandon.
He literally helped invent time travel just to be with you.
Yeah, like he literally moved heaven and earth to be with you, and he's not even like demanding a romantic relationship. Like he just wants to be near you.
Yeah, he was even like willing to sacrifice.
To hear you say it, the opposite's true.
I'm going to say technically at this moment, while I'm on the fence, I'm going to say that for the moment I'll side on Estinian so that we have a tie, and I'm going to give Brandon some time to talk about Estinian because I really am on the fence on this one.
I mean, everything Ward said is completely true. And I don't really have anything else to say because he wasn't my pick, so I'm not super behind him other than the fact that I just dislike Grahatia that much. So I don't know what you want me to say here.
You can you only go with hate, not with love. Love is the soul of the husbando.
Exactly.
Man,
You can't
the first
your way to Husbando.
When I think about Grahatia, the very first scene that I think of is at the end of the 5.3 fight, that whole cutscene there where he's, using the power of the Crystal Tower to trap Elidibus in the tower, and he gets weak, and then what do we do as a Warrior of Light? We hold on to that staff and support him and get the job done. And every time I see that freaking scene, I get a little bit teary about it, and I don't know freaking why. It just causes feelings.
Because that version of him is dying. He gives his life there. Even though we're taking his memories and we're putting them in a different shell, that version of him is gone.
It's still the same guy, though, because you're taking his memories and shoving him into current drama.
If you had a twin brother and I took all of your memories out of you and killed you and put them in your twin brother, you would be dead. Your twin brother would live on with your memories.
If my twin brother also had the exact same personality as me, it wouldn't really make much of a difference. No, but the
continuation of consciousness would be gone, would be severed. You are a different entity than your clone. Just like a twin sibling. You're two separate people. And so just because you have the memories
still the
of
same
else,
person, just with time travel involved. I don't think that.
No, it's not. He died and you put his memories in a new body. That's how that works.
As much as I feel bad about doing this to another one of Brandon's picks, I've got to side with Graha.
I didn't pick Estinian. This is all Ward.
But I mean, like, it's like I know that you feel like Stinian wasn't your pick, but still, it's like one of yours.
You know what? Whatever creepy anime boy or antagonist you make Graha fight, enjoy that.
All right. Next up, Ward. We going with antagonist, Atheris, or Wildcard?
Let's go with Atheris.
All right.
Spice it up.
Ardbert versus Amaric. I think this is hands down Ardbert.
No, absolutely not.
No?
No.
This is actually hard for me.
Forever.
Ardbert is Ardbert is you. Ardbert is the self-love. Ardbert is the love of himself.
And Ardbert is has such a tragic story.
Yeah.
And I want to I feel like Emmerich will be happy without us, but Ardbert needs.
I'll be happier with Emmerich. Are you kidding me?
Ardbert, it's not always about you.
Ardbert is the same reason we were fighting in Discord about Lou Reek. He is still got that earnest but stupid thing going for him. He overcomes it enough that he doesn't irritate me as bad as Lou Reek does. Amaric is just a good and handsome as fuck person right off the get-go. He's like, oh, my father, the Archbishop, has been the head of the church I've worshipped all my life.
To him, though.
Amaric has plenty of character growth.
You meet an annoying character, they get on your nerves, but then you get to know them, you get to understand why they are the way they are, and you get to see that they understand that they're being annoying and they're doing their best to change that. I think that is a better, more interesting, more dynamic character than just like Mr. Cool Guy from page 1.
Yeah. Also, you get to see how Ardbert affected everyone all through the first. I'm like,
and Ardbert, he screwed up, but he's suffered horribly for it. He's been a wraith, unable to interact with anything for 100, 200 years.
I guess
400 years?
Okay, that sucks for him. None of that changes the fact that Hameric's personality and appearance are both way more attractive to me.
So when I said this was hands down Ardbert, I thought it was going to be because you were going to be 3-1 against me, and I was choosing Amaric, so we're actually tied.
What? Amaric was my number one pick last year. Why did you think I would pick anyone over him?
Obviously, because my memory sucks. But we currently have a tie. I feel like enough has been said about both of these people that we're probably just going to go to a roll off on this. I
It's
don't
so
think
sad.
that Brandon's
It's
going to be swayed, and I don't think I'm going to be
'cause I
swayed about
don't-
Amber.
Damn right I
I
won't.
can't see Amric affecting someone the way that he affected Seto. It's like,
Well, I feel like, as far as me, like, if I'm picking someone to be my husbando, aka to, like, ship with my Warrior of Light, I feel like Emmerich has a good life. He has, like, people who care about him. He has companionship, and he has, he's got a good setup, and I feel like, and he's so
he doesn't have
handsome.
time to be husbando.
Well, and also he's very busy, and but he's really passionate about what he's doing, and, like, he seems fulfilled, and, like, he doesn't need somebody else in his life. I feel like Ardbert, dear God, really needs somebody else in his life. And if you're gonna be like, I'm gonna go to sleep and dream of my husbando, and we're gonna have dream life together, like, I think that's kind of sweet. Like,
just 2 points against that. Number one, I don't care how handsome you say Ardbert is. I ain't fighting that little dwarf white mage for him. She scares me. And number two, do you know what Amric has over Ardbert? He's alive.
True, but you're assuming that, like, I want babies or something. But no, I'm good with ghost children. Well, we're gonna have a ghost affair. Look, it's literally, it's like a fan fiction trope of, like, my husbando lives inside my head.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Like, and I just honestly, I don't think that I can add anything into Emmerich's life. Like, that dude really has his shit together. I cannot fix him because he is already fixed. All right.
Yeah.
He's. I like my husbandos a little bit messy. I like to be needed.
Mm-hmm.
I like to be needed.
Yeah, Emmerich doesn't need us.
Mm-hmm. And, like, I feel like,
and yet that makes it all the more amazing when he chooses us, doesn't it?
Yeah, but then you would see him, like, once a week, maybe, probably more like once a month.
Oh no! Here's the best part. You're the Warrior of Light. You're the savior of Ishgard. You can storm into the Ishgardian Parliament, drag him off, and ain't nobody gonna stop you.
Yeah, well, I don't think he's gonna put up with that for very long, considering that he has always put Ishgard and the people of Ishgard first, and that's what makes him a good person.
Yep.
All right, Megan and Brandon. I think you need to roll off to see who goes on.
All right, let's have them know that I was defending her boy.
That would be my DMs with you, Ro. Sorry about that. Let me just.
Wow!
Oh,
Jesus
not 20.
Christ!
Oh.
Not 20 for the ghost husband.
Crit him just like we credit Eric.
A critical hit for Ardbert against Amric.
It was
That's an
meant
excellent
to
right
be.
there.
My ghost
Disgusting.
husband guided the dice.
I
Together,
demand a reroll. That is cheating.
you fought as one. You fought
We
as one.
fought as though it was his ghost hand on my hand as I rolled the dice.
All right, then we have in the other semifinal Aaronville and Heian.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
I mean, as much appreciation as I might have for the bunny boy, Heian was one of my picks, and I've got to stay by him.
I feel
likewise, as much as I do like Ian, and I do like him a lot, even if his outfit does have some horrible pixelation to it, Aaronville was one of my picks, so I'm going with him.
Yep.
I feel like I ship Heian with Yugiri, so I don't want to get in the way of that. And I don't. It's Aaronville. Dear God, it's Aaronville. Like, I argued against him only because Vritra is my one true love.
No, all Aaronville has to do is say hello. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, yep.
I know. It's like you
I'm
play
yours.
a clip of Aaronville while I'm trying to argue against him, and I'll be like, and then again. Yeah. Aaronville. 1000% Aaronville.
Ward, I imagine you're sticking to Heian also.
Oh no, Aaronville. I mean, that's the thing.
Oh,
Like,
you're switching from your pick to Aaronville. Okay.
Yeah, if you're gonna put the two cutscenes against each other, there's cutscene Heian and then there's cutscene Aaronville. Like, you can't. It's like they try to make Heian like better, but yeah. I have to admit that's Aaronville. That's Aaronville.
All right, Aaronville 3-1 gets it. Aaronville moves on.
Arabelle doesn't have any like romantic attachments, so you don't have to feel bad about anything.
Technically, neither does he. And you're projecting the servant relationship.
I'm
there.
allowed. Okay.
All right.
I've read the fan fiction.
Here's an unfortunate one for me. We're gonna go to the Wildcard division next, and God, man, Rupert Giles versus Hal. I think this one has a clear winner. Maybe.
Hal is just so hot and so romantic. Honestly, dude, like, Brandon, if your wife hasn't seen Howl's Moving Castle and she likes this kind of thing, if she's into like if she likes romantic stuff, it's like a romance fantasy. It's you'll like the fantasy elements. There's some amazing Studio Ghibli animation in there.
Don't mistake me. Howl's Moving Castle has only not been watched in our household simply because A, we either keep forgetting about it, which is the case 90% of the time, or B, our kids vote something else because it's something they've been wanting to see for a while.
Understand?
I have nothing against Howl's Moving Castle. I want to see it someday, and that's the only reason I'm getting this vote, because I've watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I never want to watch that again. Thank you very much.
And oddly enough, in this matchup, I have to go against my original pick, and I have to go for Howl on this. So I think we're already at 3-1.
Am I the only one to root for Rupert Giles?
I'm sorry, Howl is
in this matchup. I have to go for Howl.
I don't see what is attractive about Rupert Giles. I don't.
You have to be into professor types.
Yeah.
And I am. It's not that I dislike Giles. I just like Howl more. Like, honestly, that Howl's Moving Castle is it's like my favorite Ghibli movie. I don't think it's like the best made. I don't think it's the whatever. It's just like it vibes with me the most. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Ticks all the boxes.
Yeah. Like it is my vibe. Like I will just put it on and just be like, yes.
Yeah.
The music. Oh my God. Whenever I'm like writing something, I always put the waltz from Howl's Moving Castle on. It's so good. All
right. Howl moves on. The other half of our semifinals is Geralt of Rivia against Vash the Stampede. I feel like this is going to be the battle of anime versus not so much anime. And as much of a Vash fan as I am, I'm more a fan of Geralt.
Why, though?
What?
Look, okay, Vash is a genuinely incredible person. He's extremely cute and handsome. He's super tall.
Yeah.
And he has great fashion sense. Mm-hmm. Girl, okay, I will give you, he is hot, but he's kind of a dick. Mm-hmm. And he sleeps with all these women, and then he's just like, okay, later. And he's also supposed to be like committed to Yennefer, but he's out here fuckboying constantly. Like, I don't want that in a husbando.
Yeah.
If you got together with Vash, he would be like devoted to you for all of his like 1,000-year lifespan.
Yep.
And he's just like, and he would be cheering you up every day, and it would be a fun, goofy time. And if you hung out with Geralt of Rivia, you know what you would get to hear all the time? Wind's howling. And then you'd have to go get his horse off a roof.
All right. You flipped me. You made you got me on that one. I'm sorry, Brandon. I'm sorry, Brandon. I can't. I got to check.
We are officially at a point in the Husbandos division where I no longer give a shit.
Oh, I'm so sorry. All right. Vasha Stampede moves on. I forgot to finish off the Atheris division, so let's do that real quick. Ardbert versus Aaron Bill. Oh wait, no, we did that. We said I just hit fill in. We said Aaron Bill. Right? Yep. Okay. Howl versus Vash.
Oh, that's hard.
Brandon doesn't give a crap, so do you want to make a pick?
This is really...
What is it, Howl versus Vash?
Yeah.
Howl. Just on the basis of... Yes.
You see, I thought you would have gone with Vash because he's has more because of the whole machinist vibe to it.
I know nothing about Vash. I have never once cared about Trigun. I know nothing about it. Howl's Moving Castle is at least a film I am interested in seeing someday.
Okay.
So there.
I really thought that you would
that's
go for
it. That's all I have here.
Vibe.
All right.
I'm really having a hard time with this. I think I'm gonna have to go with Hal just because it's my pick, and also it's like that the romance in that movie is so good. Like, I do think that Vash would make a very good husbando, but his media is not very romantic. Like, that's
Like the world he lives in.
yeah, and
The world he
also
lives
just
in is,
like he
very
would be
dark.
cute and fun and goofy and stuff, but I don't know if he would know how to be a good boyfriend.
I don't know. He would bring you donuts.
He would bring you donuts.
He
That's
would bring
true.
you donuts. He would find a way to make sandwiches.
And everywhere you went, you would get bounty hunters chasing you. It would be a bit difficult.
Well, hang on. Hang on. If he's going to bring me donuts, maybe there's an argument to be made here.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's fucking
Okay.
Yeah, he's bringing you donuts so that he eats them all himself. That's kind of...
No,
No, he never brings the donuts. The girls bring the donuts. He just eats the donuts.
Never mind. I withdraw my attempted objection. Still.
All right.
Yeah, I have to go for Hal just because, like, you get
Yep.
to live in the lap of luxury in a moving castle, cottagecore, mystical clutter or fantasy setting, or you get to live in, like, shitty Wild West future techno desert. No, thank
Wait,
you.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, if you'd have told me right off the bat that Hal would give me a place where I don't have to pay a mortgage,
Yeah, man.
sold, done.
The castle is like
Champion forever. He has my vote in perpetuity.
the moving
All right.
castle is quite a big part of Hal's appeal. I'm not gonna lie.
Next up, Gaius versus Xenos in the antagonist division.
Well, who I personally would want to date, Gaius, obviously.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is like who's the best husbando? Is it the actual father or the BFF?
The best foe forever.
Yeah,
I think this one's Gaius.
Yeah, without question.
A
Oh,
four
I
for
I don't
Gaius.
want a partner that I am constantly having to defend myself from murder from.
Yeah, but you get to also constantly try to murder. If you're into that, he's
Yeah.
very
I'm
good.
not. Why are you? Dear God.
hey man, get your blood.
Why is
pumping.
this even a thing?
If you can just, tell him what sex is and, like, channel that animosity into the sex, things could work out.
That's true. That's true.
I just think he doesn't know what sex is.
Yeah.
So he's like, haha, fight, the most intimate thing that can happen between two people.
I think the combat sexual gets defeated. All right, so Gaius moves on. Our last semifinal in the whole Husbando conference, the person who will go up against Gaius, is it Emmett Silk or is it Fortunal Levier?
Fortunate.
Well, that's tough.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
gonna
going to
vote for
say
Emmett Silk.
Fortunal.
it's like completely different tropes. So it's like they fit in the different categories.
Froshino is cute and he's got the professor thing going for him, but Emmett Silk just has that fucking magnetism, man. Like,
the
she's
man who
also
could build an empire on his own.
also I love a theater bitch, and he is
Ooh.
such a theater bitch.
yeah. Ooh.
Well, that would mean that you also like Fan Daniel.
Oh.
I do like Fan Daniel. He was a
Oh,
great
okay, well, there you
antagonist. Are you kidding
As
me?
an antagonist.
I'm surprised he wasn't picked.
Well,
antagonist.
if it was
The
just like
antagonist
old
division
world
are
Fan
people-
Daniel, then yes. But no, I think that Emmett Silk is redeemable, and also Emmett Silk, like at the end of Endwalker, you can say that he has been redeemed, or he's like figured it out, and he's like, sorry for all the genocide. Woo! But
Kind of make a bit.
He's
oopsie
still
there.
kind of a dick, even when he's not tempered by Zodiark, though.
yeah, and that's what makes him hot.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that's the thing. Is like he
He's-
always does the right thing, even if he's grumpy about it.
Yeah, and that's
So
him,
does
and that's-
Fortunal. All of his motivations were out of protecting his freaking kids.
Yeah, and he's also extremely milquetoast. Him
You know,
and
you know why I'm
him
going
and
to pick
Amelie
Fortunate?
have sex with the lights off in the missionary position. Or no, Amelia, that's her name.
Millions, yes.
Honestly, like she
Wait,
is
wait,
trying
what did you
to
call
spice
her
things
at
up
first?
so much. Like she is like word of light. Please give me a sexy outfit because my husband is a dead fish.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? I will romance Force No just so I can tell him, hey, you know what? You don't have to give Ameliance up. I like her too. Bring her in.
Oh boy.
No, we know that Ameliance is the one bringing that into the table.
Exactly.
I don't care how it happens. Let's just make it happen, please.
I just he's too vanilla for me. He's very he's
what is it you said
father,
several times throughout this episode, Megan? I can fix him.
Ward, what's your
I want a
pick?
bigger project, so I vote
You don't think
Emmett
that
Silk.
man's a giant project in the bedroom?
Oh my god, Emmett. Well, we all know that if I get Emmett Silk, I'm also getting Hythlodaeus. Like that is a package deal.
That's true.
Yeah, I kind of opened that door with the whole Ameliance thing. I guess I can't really say no.
Ward, who are you going for? Are we tying up or are we going 3-1?
It's Emmett Silk for me.
I want
Okay.
Emmett Silk and Hythlodaeus in their ancient size, and I'm modern size.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
All right. Megan,
Oh my god.
Megan or Ward, which one of you wants to roll off against me for Fortunal?
I've got
You're the one with the
I'm
lucky
closer to
dice.
the keyboard.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you go ahead and roll, and I will roll for Fortunal, and we'll see what happens.
I would like to spend a bardic inspiration on Ro, please.
power of
I believe in the Elpis
fuckery.
flower.
Oh my god!
Oh, roll a 2.
We both rolled
Rollies.
2. Okay, both of these. Can we just knock them both out? Can we do, like, these husbandos have both failed.
I
so
had to look
hard.
over. I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
I was so happy when I saw that too for Megan. I'm like, yes. And then Ro just.
I
man.
dropped the ball. Roll again.
God.
If we
I
get
said
a
I
second
could-
tie, they're both knocked out. On the second tie, they're both knocked out.
All right.
A respectable
Okay.
12.
Okay.
And it wins.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's getting spicy.
I tried. I tried to make the not obvious pick go forward. I thought I had a good shot with Fortunal.
I respect you for the even thinking about Fortuno. He didn't cross my mind once.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That's why we said
Last
antagonist and not villain.
Mm-hmm.
and yep, that was the whole point behind naming it antagonist. Gaius and Emmett Silk. I think I know who Brandon's picking.
Yep.
Mhm. I'll go for Emmett Silk again. Big
Ward,
money,
who
big
are you
money, no
picking?
whammies.
Yeah, I mean that's it. There is Gaius, and then there is like the bigger, better Gaius.
Gaius is we have Emmett Silk at home.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you want Emmett Silk that's not actually dead, and you can touch. Here we go. He's just a little bit broken.
You want to
Why is that not plenty of reasons to pick Gaius?
Oh my god.
a melodramatic bitch with daddy issues?
Yeah, come on, let's go with the ancient choice. Like,
Yeah.
you want to go with the OG?
Yeah.
Here's the real OG.
I definitely want the original flavor.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see. Who was it that picked Gaius? Was that me?
I feel like Gaius
Sure
will
shit
also
wasn't me.
be like, too
I'm
busy.
pretty sure it was.
Since Gaius has been
Oh
too
no, Ward
busy
was
stroking girl
that
mode.
was it was Ward's pick. All
Yeah,
right,
pretty sure I
so okay, so Ward's saying Emmett Silk, but Gaius was his pick. I'm going Gaius. Brandon's going Gaius. Both of you are going Emmett Silk.
Mm-hmm.
Another roll.
So, Ward, do you want Brandon or I to roll for Emmett for Gaius instead?
Yeah, you guys could roll. Throw
Brandon,
your tentacle
considering I feel like you have the most at stake in it not being Emmett Silk, Brandon, I'm going to let you roll for Gaius.
Tell me when I'm ready. Are we going? Are we rolling?
Yeah, I'm rolling right now. It wasn't working for so.
Man.
Yes,
That's a respectable roll. Gaius wins with a 19 against Emmett Silk.
Fuck you, Hades. Go back to the live stream where you
You see,
fucking belong.
all of the losses
I ride
we
around
had-
that mount just to hear that sound again. Man, that was a bitchin' fight.
I'm sorry, Zim. I tried.
Remember us? Remember that we once lived? No fucking thank you.
Wow.
Ow.
All right. we've got our division winners, some who won just by chance, and it is what it is. But for the
Husbando Wars are brutal.
The Husbando Wars are brutal. We have Graha Tia from the Scion division, Gaius Van Belsar from the Antagonist division, Aaronville from the Aetheris division, and Hal from Hal's Moving Castle for the Wildcard division. And now it's time to find out a grand champion of the Husbando Conference. The way we're going to do this is the same way we'll do it in the Waifu Conference. It's going to be Scion versus Antagonist, and Aetheris versus Wildcard, and the winner of those two would go up against each other. So, Graha Tia, Gaius Van Belsar.
Graha.
I mean, one of these characters I have a standee of, so
yeah,
it's got to be
Graha. You know what? I'm sorry, Brandon. I can't. I can't make this a roll off. I have to go with Graha.
That's fine.
All right. So
I dislike both of them enough that I'm just like, I accept the cat boy.
Gotcha. Aaronville and Hal.
Ultimately hard.
This one I don't have a dog in because while I don't hate Hal for any reason or dislike him, I have not in fact seen Hal's Moving Castle, so I feel to say anything other than Aaronville is dishonest.
I would say they both have really sexy voices.
Yeah.
Who did you say voices Hal again?
Christian Bale.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. They both have really sexy voices. Aaronville has a sexy accent.
I thought you said he has a sexy ass for a second.
Well,
I'm like, what?
There's all that there. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just more attached to Howl because I've watched it so many times. But I do feel like I am like there is more to Aaronville that I don't know yet, and I want to know. And I'm so excited that he's going to be a major part in the new expansion because he was like one of my favorite side characters from the last one.
Mm-hmm.
And also, just bunny boys are just so hot.
Yeah.
And I will say, of all the bunny boys out there that I have seen in the wild, and they are fucking legion, I don't think I've come across one that I would find more physically attractive than Aaronville.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go for Aaronville, even though Hal was my pick. It's just like, I don't know. It's like, who would I rather see sexy fan art of? Aaronville. Who would I rather read fanfic of? Aaronville.
Yep.
Like, Hal's story is complete.
Yeah.
Hal has Sophie. I would like to be Aaronville's Sophie.
Are you with Aaronville as well, Ward?
As do we all. Yeah.
That is a 4-0 then. Aaronville goes up against Graha.
For it not to freaking matter, because let's face it, are any of you people going to do the right thing and pick him over Graha Tia? Of course you're not. You're all terrible people and degenerates. So let's just...
It is not degenerate to like the main romantic person of the game.
It's like the Scion who's going to be with you through all time versus the flavor of the month.
That sounds like hell.
Graha is the least degenerate Scion choice. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
He's like the romantic, devoted, of age option.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Graha has never slapped anyone's ass. All right?
That we know of.
That's not a mark in his favor if you ask me.
And we know he's a good father figure.
Yeah.
Because he did raise Lena.
Yeah. He is like the most wholesome choice. You're just calling him a degenerate because he's a cat boy? Are you catboyist?
Yeah.
No. We've had this conversation. I'm not.
Why do you hate cat boys?
I don't hate cat boys.
You do hate cat boys. Every time a cat boy gets brought up, you're like, oh, I hate that guy. And I'm like, why? You're like, they're a cat boy.
Zirhuntia, China's. I rest my case.
Yeah, okay. But like, everybody says that they have one friend of that.
Either one of them nominated. No.
You're like,
well, we have limited.
Like, they're the good ones. Yeah, I like two of them. They're the good ones. They're not like usual cat boys.
They don't annoy me off the bat and never overcome it.
Yeah, okay.
Megan's is clearly pro Graha. Brandon's clearly pro Aaronville. Ward, what are you?
I mean, like I said, I have a standee of one of these, so it's got to be Graha.
In fairness, I would have bought an Aaronville standee if they had.
I was going to say, that's not really something when they haven't made a standee of the poor guy. Are you siding with me and making this come down to a D20 roll?
Oh my
Don't
god!
do it.
I feel like our podcast reputation would be at stake if I did. It has to be Graha.
Yeah, don't let hate win. Love wins.
It's so much more interesting.
Love wins the day. Love wins the day.
All right.
It's a husbando tournament. Love would have won regardless.
No, it wouldn't. You bring hate into this sacred space.
Final Fantasy XIV keeps bringing me cat boys who annoy me. It's their fault, not mine.
And you say you're not against cat boys. Wow.
Mhm.
Wow.
I said cat boys who
I
annoy
like
me.
cat boys when they don't act like cat boys, you know.
Precisely.
Yeah,
What's wrong with that?
Just something about their little ears and the way they flick around. It's creepy. You know what? You are a bigot against cat boys. Which is weird because you like cat girls.
Just denial.
Just imagine them with titties. You'll feel better.
On that note, I think we are going to call it for episode 49, which means that episode 50, the milestone episode that it is, will be the waifu division of the Waifu Wars. Could anyone else imagine this show's 50th episode being anything else?
It's too perfect.
Okay, wait. If do you guys have Netflix? The two of you?
Yes. I do.
Okay, watch Cyberpunk Edge Runners and watch Violet Evergarden.
I've already watched Cyberpunk Edge Runners, and I can already tell you I'm pro Lucy.
Yeah, it was real cool.
If I can find the time, I will see about watching Cyberpunk.
Okay, do not watch that in front of your kids.
Obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Violet Evergarden, watch Violet Evergarden. It hits me the same way the Howl's Moving Castle does.
Mm-hmm.
It is my vibe. But I also I want them to have a chance because you actually know who the fuck they are.
I make no promises, but I will try.
And yeah, listeners too. Those are two really good anime recommendations. If you're gonna only watch here are my three must-watch Netflix animes: Arcane, Cyberpunk Edge Runners, and Violet Evergarden.
Those three. Okay.
If you don't watch any other anime, definitely watch those. And yes, Arcane is anime. I will not be taking any questions.
I was going to say, does that count as our anime?
She said she'll not be taking any questions. All right. Well, I do need you to take one question from me, Megan. Sure. Where can people find you on the internets?
My username everywhere is Catmom Megan, and Megan is spelled Meagan. You can find me on Twitter, on Bluesky, on Twitch, on Tumblr, on YouTube, on TikTok. You can find me on TikTok, and you can see my random ass stream highlights. I stream Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, although maybe not this week because I've got jury duty. That's right. I'm participating in the judicial process.
You're a responsible citizen.
I did my part.
Exactly.
Outstanding, Ward.
Fantastic, you two. Well done.
Oh, man.
So, yes.
And
I voted also, so, just remember that.
Ward, I think the easiest place for people to find you is on Megan's stream.
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, we occasionally have cat family streams. I did make Ward his own VTuber of a cat dad.
Cat dad, yes.
So, we did the Manderville quest line last time together. It was a lot of fun.
Yep.
A lot of
by the way, Megan, I don't think I've told you this enough anywhere, but the models you have created for the two of you, chef kiss. They are spectacular.
Thank you. Yeah, I really want to do a refresh on mine, and then I figured I should do a refresh on Words too. I've been having a lot of fun working with Live 2D lately, which is the program that you put all the art assets into, and then you scooch them around to make them move.
All the modeling.
Yeah. Yes. You don't gotta animate frame by frame. You could just be squishy.
Very good. Very good.
All right. Brandon, where can people find you and your stuff?
Like Megan, I have the same username everywhere. It's the BMAT, THEBMATT. Don't go to TikTok because I don't have one. I'm not that interesting. And don't go to Twitter to find me there either because all I do is retweet the account for this show.
Did you hear that Bobby Kotick is interested in buying TikTok?
What?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
what? Oh.
if there's a way to kill it faster, I think that'd be the way to do it. It's
God.
like
Pretty
either that or
much.
they would like nationalize it. I think if they nationalize it, like okay, the federal government now runs TikTok.
Yeah.
Like that'd be the only other way of saying like, okay, yeah, it's no longer cool. Please
Oh.
leave the platform.
God. I don't. I call TikTok the toilet app because I use it. Well, I scroll while I'm on the toilet. But that's the only time I watch it.
See, I use the Instagram version of TikTok, Instagram Reels for that, just because I'm already there. So why not?
Mm.
Oh, I had a lovely Gen Z youth come into my stream and be like, "You should do TikTok. That's how people find streamers these days." And he like gave me this whole rundown of what to do. So I'm like, "Yeah, thank you." I'm not a boomer, but
Kids are all right.
I'm
Yeah.
getting there.
That is amazing that kid helped you, but also depressing that that's how streamers get discovered these days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Anyway, you can also check out my blog, yourquestlog.isfull.wordpress.com. Don't go in there expecting a lot of Final Fantasy XIV writing. I've been on a D&D and Pathfinder character creation kick lately, so that's all I've been writing about. I'm sorry. You can also catch me on the Plus 5 to Hit podcast, where Ro tries his best to kill me every time. Yeah, what are you going to do?
I mean, you fire an Eldritch Blast at something, it's going to not like it.
It could miss.
I have no counter argument for that. I like Eldritch blasting people.
Yeah. All right. As for the show and basically myself, you can go on to Bluesky and find the show on Bluesky. We are at Bluesky at A Podcast Reborn. Still technically on Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it, but I haven't really been using it too much. So pretty much switching over to Bluesky for all my stuff. So you can do that. I'll have my own account on Bluesky shortly. As for other stuff, we are part of Bose Roll Productions. You can go to boseroll.gg and check out more, maybe buy some Podcast Reborn merch. Our email is apodcastreborn@gmail.com. And the theme music this time is provided by Husky by the Geek. A link to his YouTube channel will be included in the show notes, and any music from him, any other Final Fantasy derivative music you hear belongs to Square Enix, and no copyright infringement is intended. That is going to do it for episode 49. The Waifu Conference is ahead of us in episode 50. Not too long now. Until then, for Megan, for Brandon, and of course for Butterscotch and Bonbon, this is Brian Black. Until next time, may your loot rolls be high, your glamour fantastic, and your duties always complete. Brandon.
Question for you guys. What job is always Employee of the Month at TGI Fridays?
Which job?
That would be Black Mage, because no one's got better flair than them.
That's like a fucking Office Space joke.
You damn right it is.
You're lucky we are in that very specific demographic.
Is it the legally required number of flair? The bare minimum.
Hey, we could do 2 flares back to back. We're getting there.
Oh boy. Good stuff. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Ah.